But what I can say is from a communications perspective and from a marketing perspective, as I looked more deeply into what you guys are doing, like you have gone all in on communicating with this particular group of people. Like one of the things that stood out to me was the like, hey, if you have a skin problem, text us, right? Like here's our number. And I was like, wow, like I'm amazed I've never seen that before, right? But that's kind of the magic of the internet is like you can connect directly with your customers in a very personal way while they're in their pajamas in their bedroom and you're at your desk. Um, Talk to me a little bit about kind of what the inspiration was there, like how not necessarily that specific tactic, but all of the tactics, what the approach has been there. And then are there particular things that have kind of stood out or performed better than others?
Yeah. So I think it's been the last 3 years since we started working on Bubble. Um, we spoke to over 10,000 teens and Gen Zers. The
Yep.
way we looked at it is they are so different than us. Like, I'm a millennial and they're so different than me that the only
Yep.
way to really make this brand right for them is to involve them in the conversation and get them to be a part of the conversation and tell us what they really think and how they really feel. And if something sucks, like, we want you to tell us if it doesn't work or you don't like it.
Yep.
So research was rooted in everything we've done. So it started with focus groups. I personally conducted focus groups with 200 teens. It was in groups of 8, 2 hours at a time. So it's been a lot. And then, yeah, and like I brought like 50 different products. I was like, do you like this? Do you like that? What do you like about it? What do you hate about it? What do you currently use? It's been like hours and hours of just conducting research. And then after focus groups, we conducted like a quantitative research with 800 teens. And then we created a community with 4,600 teens. And ever since then, like on a every 2 to 3 months, we research with at least 1,500 teens on various subjects that we're interested in. So if it can be retailers, it could be marketing strategies, it could be celebrities and influencers, it could be discovery, it could be obviously product innovation. Um, so that has been a part of everything we've done. And I constantly try to explain like to everyone because it's really weird to say that, but especially in 2022. But it's like they are the decision makers. Like, I don't think for a second that we know best. They know best. And we listen to
Hmm.
them in every possible aspect. Like, we listen to them in product names, to which products we should develop. And we have at least 50 community members testing our products before we approve them from a formulation perspective. Because the way we approach it is like, we're trying to cater for you. We need to ensure that it's truly something you're happy with. And countless times we completely, moved away from a certain formulation just because some community members didn't like it to the same extent that we thought they would. So it's basically a part of everything we do. So that has been a big part of like the text messaging strategy. That has been a huge part of Skin School on our website, because Skin School on our website is essentially, in our community, we had two rooms: a room for talking to our dermatologist and a room to talk to our product developer. We still have it today. And we took all the questions that they've asked our experts and just created a platform explaining all of that, because we suddenly understood how much fear mongering exists in this industry, and how much just misinformation and so many things that are just completely untrue and has nothing to do with the real world, or with science, or it's research that hasn't been really fully supported by a lot of scientists. So we took a really big approach into, let's really understand what their needs are, what they're looking for, what problems they're experiencing, and how can we solve it together with them to really give them the best possible solution. So that has been a part of every strategy we did, and every decision we made. A big thing that is a part of the brand is the educational side, and we educate
Hmm.
in a very different way than most brands, because the way that most skincare brands will educate is like, oh, this is the problem that you have, this is the ingredients that we currently have in this and this product to help you tackle this problem. The way we approached it is like, we educate you completely unrelated to our products. Like, our goal is not to push our products. Our goal is to help you become a very educated consumer that asks the right questions. So, for example, we constantly talk about the fact that parabens are not bad for you, that it's actually a research that hasn't been really backed by science. It
Hmm.
doesn't mean that we formulate with parabens, because we would never formulate with controversial ingredients. With that being said, like we really want to bring the true scientific evidence to everything, that consumers are looking to know and looking to see. So our goal is really to make them much more educated consumers. So that's like a big part of the strategy, and something that we see has been very successful, and also something that helped us create a much more genuine and authentic connection with our community and our consumers.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think, the thing you're talking about, the story that's coming to mind for me was I was at lunch yesterday with this guy named Dan, right? So Dan, has been in the radio business for 15 years. He's about our age, maybe a few years older. And, you talk into the radio and you hear nothing back, right? And I feel like that's how it was as a brand for a really long time. Like you put your brand product into the stores and then you're like, well, hope it was good, and you do your focus groups and but you don't have this kind of direct feedback loop, this direct communication that is enabled today. And I also think that from an expectations perspective, these kind of smaller, or not smaller, but these younger folks, right? That's their expectation. Like if I'm not having a direct dialogue with this brand, or I don't feel like they're listening, or I can't talk to them, then, I don't feel connected to them, right? Like that is the expectation these days. And so when you're competing against a Neutrogena that isn't going to do that, right, is never going to, or at least not for a very long time, you can create some pretty significant strategic advantages as a company. I just love it. I think it's fascinating. Like I loved the skin school. I loved how you like educated on particular problems, and it wasn't like, oh, here's a problem and here's how you fix it and here's the product you buy. Just like, hey, we're just here to like teach you, help you get better. Like we know this is a really confusing time. Here's some information to help you like understand it, right? I thought it was just fascinating. Like I loved it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And it's essentially our goal. Like our goal is to help our consumers become confident in their own skin. And that's like truly the mission of the company. So we see this as a part of so many things. Like this is the mental health aspects. Like this is the educational element. And it's not necessarily about pushing our products. Like it's about truly helping them become confident in their skincare choices, but also in their life and in, with their mental health. And also like I see this as a personal thing of like, you know, I had very difficult teen years, as I think as most people had, I think. And I also have a daughter who is 5.5 years old, almost 6. And I really, really want to help that next and younger consumer, because there's so many things that I always like try to explain to our community, like so many things that I wish I knew when I was 15, or 14 or 16, from breathing exercises to just understanding that everything is temporary, and really, really, really being there for them while supporting them and educating them. So that's like a big core piece of the brand and in everything we do.